Hello guys, Omni here. We're going to talk about tonight's episode of Doctor Who, episode 6 of series 12. I don't have a reaction for this one because, well, I recorded it, but the stream quality was a little off for the live stream that I was watching from BBCA. So I don't know. I wasn't too comfortable going in and doing some edits to that and working with that footage. On top of that, honestly, tonight's episode, I didn't want to bore you guys with my reactions to it because not that the episode was bad or anything. I did enjoy a good bit of the episode. It just didn't really get any actual reactions out of me. So I didn't really want to waste anybody's time by posting something and you're just watching me like not react to anything. I didn't really have a lot of commentary for it as well. There's a couple key moments in this episode that I did like some nods to it. So we'll talk about that. So if you haven't seen the episode, I'll be going into some spoilers. So tune out if you haven't watched it yet, and you can come back and check back in. I do apologize again about not having a reaction to this. I don't want it to come off lazy or anything like that, but I didn't want to put something out there and it not really entertain you guys in the proper way. So I just want to give you guys my thoughts on the episode. Just get straight to the chase. So if you haven't seen it, spoilers ahead. So last moment to tune out. I'm going to dive into that right now. So this episode doesn't really further any of the plot threads that we've had set up, the various ones we've had set up in the first half of the series so far. We haven't got any kind of progression in this so far, unless for some reason this disease, the name of the episode, the namesake of the episode is the name of this disease that infects plastic. It doesn't break it down. It uses it to infect life forms from microplastics because plastic is a thing that you can't completely degrade. So there's always some level of plastic particles in the air and the water and just everything. And of course, this again presents yet another environmental message in this episode. And it's, I don't know, two of them in the same series seems a little, I don't know, maybe if they make like a theme of it for the entire series. But it just, again, comes off just a little forced, but it is, like I said before, an important message. I just think that they're getting a little hammering the nail on the head, like a little too much at this point by just 2 episodes in the same season seems a little much to me, but I'm not going to harp on it for too much for that. But they do name drop because plastic is a key part of this. It's infected some birds. It is starting to be transmitted into other organisms, humans. We find out that some aliens have come to Earth because of the the abundance of plastics, so that because I guess it started or had hit their planet, and they're just the last remnants of it. So they needed to go somewhere heavy in plastic so that they can kind of experiment on this bacteria, this disease, in somewhere where it could grow and progress and use Earth as kind of this petri dish kind of experiment so that they could try to develop a cure for their race. They set up a couple stations throughout the world and they're trying to just transmit data. It's all kind of working in, it's tying in. This radiation from their ship has caused some other malfunctions, which gets us the Adam Lang astronaut crashing in the ship, this missing submarine in the Indian Ocean. As the doctor's kind of stumbling through it, they're gathering up their research, their experiments, their evidence to try to figure out what's going on. We do get a name drop of the living plastics, because that was my initial thought the moment they kind of keyed in this bird is full of plastic, because it's like infecting it and turning and converting these things into plastic and then just disintegrating people that are infected with it. Have this nice little practical effect of where their skin is just kind of breaking up, it kind of looks like it's turning into stone kind of scales. But then eventually, once it's covered your entire tissue, they just disintegrate and poof into dust. So it is a scary thing as it's progressing through birds. I guess they made a comment throughout there that the birds, some like strain of virus or bacteria in the birds' bloodstreams were actually like fighting off the infection for a while, because it was like they made this comment of Earth is fighting back with its bacteria through the birds and stuff like that. So it was kind of holding them off, but driving the birds crazy, having them kill themselves and attack other people. So still wasn't that great for humans. The doctor does name drop and was like, could this be the autons or living plastics? And then discounts it because it's like, they don't operate like this. They don't work like this. So we instantly just toss that away. But I like that it comes up. We don't get any resolutions to any of the setup, the surprises, the reveals from last episode still, not even any clues or hints. This episode really is purely a standalone, mostly in the way that the episode that took place on the resort was. It doesn't really tie into the other plots so far, at least that we can indicate, unless somehow it gets wrapped in later. But overall, it was a good episode as they kind of figure out what to do, how to cure it, how to get it through, whatever. They end up by the end of it developing a cure and dispersing it through the jet streams in the upper atmosphere, spreading the cure throughout, which would wipe out the disease. The doctor figured it out. Some things that I did point out throughout the episode was just like there's this scene where they're kind of setting up the ship to deliver the cure into the jet stream, and everybody here, they got some civilians that they picked up along the way that was helping them. This astronaut, his husband, and as well as this blogger they picked up along the way whose friend got infected earlier in the episode and died. And I'm just like, everybody knows exactly what they're doing here. And I could at least suspend the disbelief for like Ryan Graham and Yaz, because they've actually got experience with all this stuff. It's not like all this stuff is just going, well, no. I mean, maybe the TARDIS is translating it for everybody else. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, are you sure? Are you sure these civilians? I'll give a pass to the companions and the doctor, but these civilians know what they're doing with these switches, because at one point one of the guys who's just a off cop, he's a cop who's on a sabbatical. He's not even active duty or anything like that. Is just like, I've turned on the autopilot and all this stuff, and I'm gonna any idiot can fly a plane. And I was like, not quite, but whatever. It worked in the end. Again, I think one of the key things in this is the cinematography in this episode. I really liked. There's some really spoopy kind of elements to it when they're going into some of these laboratories, some of these areas where the infection is spread, and some of the places where it's being monitored and experimented with. Were pretty visually interesting. I really like the sets that they had in this. And that's one of the things too, as well as the look of the infection itself. I really like that. This season so far has been really great with its practical effects. They've been doing a bang out job doing alien designs, practical effects on all of the people, the infected creatures, aliens, stuff like that. They're really kind of toning down the CGI elements in this as much as they can. And it's working. I really like that. I do got to commend their their design department or their production team for putting all that together, at least. Again, this episode wasn't very thrilling. There's not a lot of running, not a lot. There's a shoot moment in it at one point, but it's a really slow, methodical kind of conversation piece where it's mostly just characters talking back and forth. We're going from one scene of characters talking to characters talking to characters. So that's one of the reasons too that I didn't really kind of get any rises out of me in this, because there was no surprises. There was no like, wow, gotcha moments or nothing that really kind of pulled at the heartstrings. Because I mean, at the end of it, pretty much most everything ends up okay by the end of the episode. So yeah, sorry guys for not having the reaction for this, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, your opinions on this episode, your opinions on this season so far. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. We will carry on that conversation after the video, because I like talking to you guys about your thoughts, your theories on how this is all progressing, fellow Whovians and whatnot, and see how this goes. Because I know this series and last series so far has got a lot of people divided. Whatever your thoughts are, I don't care. Share it and we'll talk about it. I love hearing everybody's opinions, everybody's just points of view on this. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this video, support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, and hopefully next week I won't have a bad stream of this, as well as hopefully we can actually get watch the episode, have an episode that actually gets something out of me a little bit here. We got 4 episodes left in the series, and then we'll be done. I did see, I think that we're going to have a 2-part season finale, so that'll be interesting to see how that comes together. Kind of bookending the season with 2-parters, which will be pretty neat, assuming it all kind of comes together. So we'll see, and I'll catch you guys next week with the next Doctor Who. So take care, everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time.